Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be a 3 looks 1 palette with the Kathleenlights and ColourPop Zodiac palette. I do have a review and demo and swatches of this palette. I will link it up here for you in case you are interested in that. I have really been enjoying this palette and I wanted to do 3 looks using this palette just to kind of show you what kind of looks you can get from this palette, because when you look at it, while it is beautiful, it can kind of look a little bit intimidating based off of the colors in it. So I did want to kind of go ahead and show you 3 different variations in case you were leery on picking this up. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first look. So before we start, I did want to just mention that it has been storming on and off all day, so if you hear like thunder in the background, that's why. And my fiance is in the living room right now watching TV, so if you hear voices, it's probably the television. So I have already primed my eyelids and used a base shade to kind of set the primer since there isn't one in this palette. Going in with Libra, I'm just going to put this into my crease. Now I'm going to go into the shade Taurus and do the same thing. Taking a smaller brush and going into Virgo, I'm going to put this on the outer V and up into the crease, but focusing on the outer part of the eye. Now going into the shade Capricorn, tapping most of it off, I'm going to do the same exact thing to add some depth to the outer corner. I'm going to add a little tiny bit more Virgo just to kind of make it a little more brown instead of I threw it in the floor. So now what I'm going to do is take Gemini and put it on the inner half of my eyelid. This is a gorgeous shadow shade. Now going in with just a little tiny bit more Virgo to blend those edges together. So I did go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I went ahead and added eyeliner and lashes to this look, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish the lower lash line. I'm going to go into Taurus with a pencil brush and run this all over the lower lash line. Going in with a more pointed pencil brush, I'm going to go into the shade Virgo and run that all over the lower lash line as well. Taking that same pencil brush and going into Capricorn, I'm going to put that on the outer portion of the lower lash line. Taking that same pencil brush and going into a tiny bit of Cancer, I'm going to put that on the inner corners of the eyes. So this is the final look for look 1. This is more of like the traditional smoky eye that I'm doing with this palette. I do think it's very, very pretty, very nighttime appropriate. I think the liner and the lashes really add to the drama of the look. These aren't my favorite lashes, but they do work with this look. So this is eye look number 1. Let's go ahead and jump into eye look number 2. Hello again. Now we are going into look number 2. I do already have my eyebrows on and I primed and set my eyelids. So going into the shade Taurus on a fluffy blending brush, I'm just going to take this into the crease. Going into Sagittarius with a small brush, I'm going to focus this on the outer portion of the eye, the inner portion of the eye, and into the crease. Going into a flat definer brush, I'm going to go into the shade Aries and pat this on the center of the lid that I kept open. Now taking my finger, I'm just going to pat that right on top for a little more oomph, I suppose. So now I'm going to take a little bit of Leo and put that right there on the center to make it a little more gold. So I did go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and then I went in with Virgo and I used that as a liner, and then I put on some lashes. So now I'm going to finish up the bottom lash line. To do that, I'm taking a pencil brush and a tiny bit of Sagittarius, and I am running this all over the lower lash line. Taking a more pointed kind of pencil brush, I'm going to go into the shade Scorpio and just focus that really close to the lash line. So for the inner corners, I'm going to be taking a mixture of Leo and Cancer and just putting those right on the inner corner. So this is the final eye look for look number 2. This is one of my favorite eye looks I've ever done with this palette. It screams fall to me, and I am so excited for fall. It is 90 degrees out with a real feel of 101 right now, I think, so I'm over it and I'm ready for fall. So this is my fall inspired look using the Kathleen Lights palette. I really, really love the way that this looks. So now let's go ahead and move on to look number 3. To start look number 3, I already primed my eyes and used a cream shade to set my eyelids. So now I'm going to go into the shade Libra and put that into the crease. Going into the shade Aquarius, I'm going to do the same exact thing, focusing it on the outer V and up into the crease. This step is a little time consuming because the shade is kind of sheer when you blend it out, and I kind of want this to be pigmented through here, so this will require quite a bit of blending. Now going into the shade Sagittarius, I'm going to put this on the outer corners and up into the crease as well. So I did take a tiny bit more Aquarius to blend up into the crease to kind of blend Sagittarius out. So I took a little bit of Libra, and now I'm going to blend the edges of that out with Libra, hoping to get a better blend on that edge. So I'm going to take Cancer on my finger, and I'm going to pat it onto, like, focusing it on the center, but also dragging it down onto the inner part of the lid. Taking just a tiny bit more Sagittarius, I'm going to put this on the outer corner just to kind of blend everything together. So I did go ahead and line with the shade Capricorn after I tapped the glitter out, and then put on some lashes. These are not the greatest lashes in the world, but I am testing them out, so I do apologize that they look a bit strange. And then I put a blue liner in the waterline. Taking a pointed pencil brush, I'm going to go into the shade Sagittarius and run this all over the lower lash line. I'm going to stop about where my pupil ends, or my whatever that is, iris, the green part of my eye. I'm going to stop right there. Taking that same pencil brush and going into the shade Scorpio, I'm doing the exact same thing. Taking a pencil brush and going into the shade Pisces, I'm going to take some of this Tarte spray that I got in my BoxyCharm and just spray the tip of that. And then I'm going to apply this to the inner corner and then drag it onto the lower lash line. So now that I have applied lower lash mascara, this is the final look for look number 3. I'm actually really surprised with how this turned out. Krista Bertner, actually, here on YouTube, I will link her channel down below. In my original review video, she said that she wanted to see a look using both of the blues in this palette. And while I did give both of the blues in this palette kind of like a meh review, I do really think that this turned out nice. I really like that pop of blue on the inner corner. You definitely have to use this shade wet, but when you use it wet, you get it really, really intense, and I really like how this turned out, actually. So that has been my 3 looks 1 palette using the ColourPop and Kathleenlights Zodiac palette. I thought this was a very, very fun video to make. I really, really like this palette, and I really, really like playing around with eyeshadows. So if you want me to do more of these, please let me know, and let me know what palettes you want me to use. You could check out my big and small eyeshadow palette collection videos. I will link them up here in the cards in case you want to check those out. And tell me what palettes you want me to use in the next video, because I would love to do more of these. I've had a really good time filming all these looks with this palette. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, please feel free. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.